seen on social media. But you never know what's the difference. They all sound the same. So in this video, I'm gonna share with you what's the difference between self-love and self-care and how you can implement them both in your self-development journey. So let's get right into it. Hi and welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for clicking on this video, and now let's start. So first of all, we start with self-care. What even is self-care? So self-care is all about taking action to take care of yourself, and this includes mentally, physically, and emotionally. It's really to look after yourself for what you need. It can be, for example, an everything shower that we see all over social media, or it can be your skincare routine, or it can be as little as just yoga at home or stretching at home. It can really be tailored to you, and just because everybody around there, you feel like everybody out there loves everything showers and does them for self-care, it doesn't mean that you need to do that. If you don't want to put your money into these products and you think it's a waste or you don't see the worth of it, then don't do it, because when you use these products it won't make you happy. And I think that's the main point of self-care, to do something that makes you happy. And also, if we're on the money part, it doesn't need to cost anything. It can be as simple as doing gratitude every morning, because that's self-care too. Or it can also just be going on a walk and see the things that make you happy, get fresh air. It's really just about the small things. What also is self-care is stuff like planning your week, or also when you feel, oh, I'm feeling very down today, and then you listen to a playlist that makes you happy because you know it will uplift your mood. So that's also a form of self-care, because you take care that you get back into the right track. And I think that's all about what self-care is. And these are just examples and ideas. The key is to really ask yourself, as I said before, does this make me happy? For example, a big self-care thing for me is really an everything shower, because I love it when I feel clean and I know I smell good. And also the top is when I have fresh sheets, and then I can go underneath them and go to sleep. And I don't need to worry about anything because I smell good, my sheets are fresh, and it's just perfect. So that's one of the things I do for self-care. Among all other things, I also do planning my week, because it makes me feel accountable of the things I want to do. So that's also a thing. And it's not just about the external acts. As I said, it's not just about the everything shower, for example. It's also stuff like setting boundaries, because self-care is also setting boundaries or prioritizing long-term goals over short-term gratification, because you know it will bring you more in the bigger picture. Or also discipline. I mean, discipline is a whole other thing, and I know we will talk about it in another video, but it's also a form of self-care, because when you're disciplined, then you care for your future. You prioritize your long-term goals over short-term gratification. And this is not always easy, but you know that it's worth it, because also, for example, when you go to the gym consistently, you see the progress and you know that it's worth it. And that's the same also with health and everything around that. Okay, now that we have self-care covered, let's go over to self-love. So what is self-love? I think that self-love is way more intentional and it's way more emotional. It's really connecting deep with yourself, but it also kind of goes hand in hand with self-care, because when self-care is the action, love is the intention behind it. because, as I said before, with discipline, you stay disciplined. That's the action. Self-care is the action. You stay disciplined because the intention behind that action is to care for your future, and that's love for yourself because you know you will achieve that in the future. And to practice this, you can, for example, journal. As I said, I think self-love is a really intentional thing, and if you journal, you really get touch in your emotions and you get to know yourself better. That's also an act of self-love, to just know yourself. Because if you imagine like your best friend or your boyfriend or your mom, you know who she is, so, and you love her, so why shouldn't you do the same, so in order to love yourself? And it's also about accepting yourself as who you are, but also growing into the best version of you. So like accepting yourself, but not like, yeah, this is just how I am. You kind of accept your mistakes, kind of, yes, this is how I am, but I know I can get to that level, but I accept that level I am at too now. So that's a really important thing. And the other thing is to be kind to yourself when you mess up. I think that's one of the biggest acts in self-love, because a lot of times in my self-love journey already, I thought, oh, I messed up, I don't like myself anymore. But that's not true, because we all have mistakes. Everyone does mistakes. Nobody is always perfect. Nobody is, no successful people around out there in the world never made a mistake. So even if you mess up, even if you skip a workout once a week, one time in a week, no, once every week, but exactly, even if you skip that, it doesn't mean you're a bad human, because that's just mistakes. The other thing will be if you completely throw off the line and don't prioritize your future gain anymore and never do a workout, and then you realize it's been 2 months and you never worked out anything. That would be another thing. But also, if that happens, you don't need to hate yourself. Hate is a big word, but you don't need to get bad words to yourself, because that's the worst thing you can do. Again, I mean, with the people you love, you don't tell them into their face that you hate them, that they messed up. You will say, hey, yeah, you probably messed up there, but you will get back up again. And that's how you should talk with yourself, because that's what love is. Now that we got both terms covered, let's cover the connection between self-love and self-care. I already kind of talked about this because they both go hand in hand. Like, self-care without self-love can be like checking off to-do list. As I said, if you don't enjoy everything showers and you're like, oh, I need to do my everything shower, then it's really like a thing that you need to do for work. But that shouldn't be like that, because it's a self-care act. And so self-care kind of doesn't go with self-love. And also, self-love without self-care can leave you stuck in the patterns that don't serve you. Because as I said, self-care is also with evolving and growing. And if you don't have that aspect, then you're never growing. And so you stay stuck. And an example for that is getting ready in the morning, even if you don't need to leave the house. Because that can depend on the person, of course, again. But for me, when I know I stay at home the whole day, I'm not going out, I'm not planning to go out, and I know I want to be productive, then I kind of need to get ready. Not because I don't feel good when I'm not ready, but I feel ready. I know that kind of sounds stupid, but I mean, when I'm doing my makeup, when I have a cute outfit, then I'm like, okay, let's go, we're gonna do this. But when I sit in my jumpers the whole day, in my sweatpants, and then I look at my bed and I think, oh, that would be so comfortable. But when I'm in my jeans and in my outfit or whatever, then I won't get back into bed. I won't do that. So that's a self-care and self-love act for me when I'm staying at home. And remember, as I said, these two things are not about perfection. They're really not about perfection. They're about the things that make you feel good and that make you happy and that align with your values. So really choose practices that you enjoy. You see, we're getting back to it again. So the key point is really to do something that you can enjoy. Okay, I bet you're thinking now, but how the hell should I implement all of this stuff that I just told you? Well, I got you covered. I have 4 steps that you can implement all the stuff right now from today into your life. The first thing is plan ahead. And I don't mean just in your head, I mean schedule it like a time with your friends. Like you're not available at that time. Because then you have 2 hours, for example, really just to yourself, and then you can do self-love, self-care, all of these acts, and you will feel so much better. Again, there, really do something that makes you happy. Then the second point is practice gratitude. That's a really important thing, to think what you're grateful for, because it gives you another perspective. For example, if you think, I'm stuck in my 9 to 5, I hate it, I want to leave. But if you do gratitude, then your view is, I'm so happy that I have a job, I'm so happy that I can earn money. So I think that's really a key point to self-love and self-care. Then the third thing is be intentional. Ask yourself again, does this serve me? Is this for my future? Does this serve my future self? And make mindful choices. Then the fourth point is, again, the main point of this video basically, do what makes you happy. Don't do what everyone tells you. Don't do what your best friend tells you. Oh, I do this. That's very kind of them. It's very nice of you. Take their advice, but look if it fits to you. If they say, oh, do that, that's so helpful, but to you it doesn't help, then that's normal. That's no problem. It doesn't need to. It's your journey. You can find out what you love and what makes you happy and practice all of that. I know there was a lot of information in this video right now, but as always, here is the summary of this video with some bullet points. So let's start. Self-care focuses mainly on actions that improve your physical, your emotional, and your mental health. On the other hand, that's the second point, self-love is all about the relationships that you have with yourself and accepting who you are. Then the third point is plan ahead and practice gratitude to integrate both self-care and self-love into your life. And the fourth point is choose practices that make you happy. Again, the main point of this video, that make you happy. And the last point is discipline and intentionality are the key to long-term success. And I'm gonna make an extra video about this because this is kind of deep, but they're really the key to long-term success and long-term fulfillment. So just do it. Yeah, and these are about building a life that makes you happy and makes you safe. So why shouldn't you do it? So just do it. Start small, be consistent, and be kind to yourself. Remember, it's not about perfection. It's mainly about what makes you happy. Happiness, the whole term of this video. And so let me know in the comments, what is your self-care or self-love act? What is the thing that you enjoy doing the most? And if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe if you want to see more of those. Goodbye and thank you very much.